So I'm gonna bounce out a little bit. So if you can or you, is that what you, is that what I'm saying? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If you can have some questions because you are the first one, so you have more time.
That's right. You're the eager keen one here. Love it.
You have
Keen
one-on-one. Right. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hello, Miss.
Hello. How are you doing? Do you have
good.
also video? I love seeing people.
Sorry, can you say again?
Do you have also a video? Can you put your video on?
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Do you mind? That would be great since we're also like super proud. Oh,
thank you.
awesome.
Okay,
Yay. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Yeah. How are you?
Beautiful. I'm good. Thanks. I'm really excited to get to know you all and help you guys with application because I know they can always be a bit daunting and difficult. And and I have more than 5 years experience in looking at people's resume. So what's your situation?
So now I live in Hobart in Tasmania, and I try to looking for a job in Melbourne. So
okay.
yeah, because I have a plan. After a few months, I will move to Melbourne to live. So I try to looking for a job first on the Melbourne.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Are you? What kind of visa are you on at the moment?
Now I have the visa I-20, the partner visa.
Is this our partner visa? Is this like full working rights and everything?
Yes. Yeah.
It's not like
this is a temporary visa. Yeah.
Okay. So how long do you have visa? Like how long are your working rights at the moment?
Now
I just temporary.
My visa doesn't have the expire date because
okay.
I'm applying for the residential visa.
Perfect. Fantastic.
So now
That's
just
nice
waiting.
to know. Yeah.
I just waiting to get the PR. So now I have full time to have full right to work in Australia.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And what kind of area are you interested to work in?
I try to look in the opportunity in web developer.
Web developer.
Some kind of developer for software or website. Is that okay?
Okay.
And
yeah, sure.
Also, I try to. Another thing is that looking for like technical support.
So like IT help desk, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And may I ask you, do you already have any work experience? Did you do an internship or anything?
So I only have the experience in Vietnam. When I have
okay, that's great.
Work in Vietnam. So, but it went 2000 I 18 to 2020, and now and after that I come to Australia and I don't have any experience in Australia.
Yeah. That's okay. No, that's okay. But the good thing is it's not like because I'm asking because some people, they come fresh from university, they studied here. Did you also study something in IT here, or you came straight with your? Okay.
Yeah, I have a bachelor degree in University of Tasmania. A
bachelor degree. Okay.
Yeah, in IT.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's very interesting that a lot of universities, they don't have a, what's it called, an internship integrated in the course, which I find always very, very important. So I'm not discouraging you. You can definitely apply, but what sometimes is tricky is they want to see references. So they want somebody that will kind of like say how you work and things like that. But what you could try is, for example, if you need a reference and you haven't worked in Australia yet, you can also ask, for example, your what's it called, the trainers or the professors that you had your course with, because what they can say is they still know your work from your assignments, right? And it's related. So if you don't have any recommendations here yet, that would be something you could use. And have you started looking already for a job?
Yeah, I try to apply some many jobs, but doesn't have any response. Yeah. So so I also have some reference when I work in the university and in the restaurant. You know, so I just try.
Okay. Do you like? Are you a member of ACS, the
No,
Australian Computer Society?
no,
Like
no. When
I always recommend, like especially when you guys don't have experience yet, is
yep,
either you say, "Hey, am I happy to do an internship?" So I do have a reference, and
okay,
I can say I did this in an English-speaking country. And then might be also a foot in the door. So like maybe you have already applied for a company that you really like, that you really would love to get an opportunity in. One strategy could be, for example, to say, go back to the to the company and say, I applied for this job and I see you're not interested. But how about I would be also happy to do, like, I don't know, let's say 2 months of internship.
yep,
Would I be able to do that? The only problem always is some of the companies, they will ask if you're still studying, because they only allow people to do that if they're still studying. But smaller companies, they will be more open to this. But this is not like totally up to you, right? You can definitely start looking for jobs. Oh, we have some more people coming.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay, thanks for the warm up. But in case of your case, Dai, is
Yep.
that your name, Dai, right?
Yes, yeah.
So the best way is you can join the internship.
Yep.
The internship placement from MentorMe ICT on job training program, which you have to pay a very little enrollment fee.
Yep.
But because what lacking from your side is your real hands-on working experience in Australia.
Yes, that's correct.
So the internship is a very nice bridge between closing the gap of what you've been done in the past and then what you've been looking for to fulfill, move up to a permanent job in Australia. Because normally people wanna cross-check your latest job, and if you have like the experience in Australia, so the past employer had to do the work check on your your performance, your scope of works, etc., before like officially recruit you on board. So maybe get in touch later on. We will have some affordable options for you now, because one of the priorities of you right now is you have to look for a job and get more hands-on, real hands-on, right?
Yep.
So did you send the resume?
Not yet.
No.
Where I can send?
No worries, because it's gonna be your homework today after Miss Rippy walked you through. Okay, we have a few coming join now. Okay, right. I think most of the attendants here know who we are. Okay, we have a few from Taiwan as well. So MentorPlus is a on-job training company which we established like last year, the last May 2021, and we're focusing in ICT on-job training, providing real hands-on experience, and also with the unique one-on-one training by the mentors and trainers who are currently working in corporate, both in Australia and around the world. And after that, after 6 months, because the course lasts 6 months, after 6 months, you will have a chance to get the job placement if you perform like you adapt on the performance review through all the 6 months. Yeah, so these are the service that Mentor Me, which is the name of the program, doing right now. And currently we are recruiting batch number 8 already. And we provide training, mentoring, internship, placement for all of roles in ICT, including full stack developer, ICT business analyst, automation testing, manual tester, data analyst, data engineer. Right. Okay, so the rest of the workshop lasts in 2 hours. So I'm gonna hand over to the main showcase today, Miss Whippy. So she will walk you through one by one if possible. Otherwise, she's gonna pick up some outstanding case from the outstanding questions that you sent earlier prior to the meeting, in order to showcase that, okay, if you want to apply a job in Australia, like Tai Yoon case, then you have to prepare your resume and cover letter in that typical situation. Okay, you ready? Repeat.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I was just wondering if I can have permission to share as well.
Okay, just 1 second. I'm gonna make everyone in the room a co-host so you can share all. Okay. Can you try to share now, Repeat?
Okay. Excellent. Yep. Okay. I think somebody of you might be outside. I can hear some walking outside. Okay. So yeah, my name is Wiebke, and I'm really excited to be here today and get to know you all and help you guys to get your resume and cover letter really nicely fine-tuned. So that you will get more opportunities to have interviews, right? And nail that interview to get the job that you want to start your career here in Australia. What I would like to focus, and you guys let me know what you really want to get out of this session, because this is all about you guys, okay? Obviously, you would like to know, how do I create a successful application? So not just a resume, but how Chloe already said, also the cover letter, which is very important in Australia. And then we will talk more closer what's important, especially in the IT sector. And if you want, at the end, I can give you some ideas with strategies, or Chloe will tell you more about her programs as well, around the internship and mentoring and so on. Okay. And don't be shy to pop in any questions in the chat when I'm talking, but this is really about you. So you can unmute yourself, and this is interactive, guys. Yeah, this is all about you. Just quickly about myself. So I have actually worked 5 years for Navitas Professional, where I have been checking over hundreds of resumes in different sectors. And one of the 3 sectors I worked with was an IT. And many of them, they found either an internship or they got a job. Yeah, so just that you know, those resumes were successful. And also I've been doing a few workshops for Navitas, but also for Academies of Entrepreneurs and English Australia around employability, meaning how to network, how to write a resume, how to prepare for an interview. And I've been working for almost all my life that I was working with international students, but in Australia has been over 12 years now. So I do understand how it is to come to different countries. I'm actually originally from Germany, and I lived in different countries, and I also had to see how I apply for Australia and learn how it works over there. And also I have experience in managing learning communities. All right, this is about me, so you have a bit of an idea who's talking to you here. And do you guys have any questions, any suggestions that what things that you would like to talk about today? Okay, let me just see if I can see. No, nothing in the chat. So what this one really is about, if you guys have a resume and or a cover letter and it's something you would like me to check, any brave one here that says, okay, I really want to take the opportunity and I want Wiebke to check my resume here live. Because there's one thing about, I can go through the slides here now and I give you some tips and advice around how to craft your resume. However, the way that I saw that is the most efficient really to get a resume checked is actually a live talk with the person. Because if I see something in the resume that I don't understand because I wasn't with you in the experience, like Tai, I hope you don't mind me sharing that you were mentioning you already worked in Vietnam. So let's say I see those bullet points around your work in Vietnam, but we don't have a chat, like I can't ask you questions. I can't help you as much as I could. If one of you is like saying, hey, yes, I'm happy, please, I will share my resume, and then I can actually go through with you here right now, ask you questions, and the others will also benefit because they will see and hear me with the questions. My experience really is asking questions helped the candidates always to go deeper and much clearer about what have they done in the past. They also sometimes forgot that they did certain projects. Oh, I can put this on my resume. And I'm like, yes, why wouldn't you put that? Or they had really good grades. Why would you hide that? That might be a competition advantage of yours. So think about it. If I don't see anybody raising hand or putting in chat, I'm happy to get my resume checked right now, right here. I will go through some slides. Yeah, we're just gonna warm them up a little bit, and then maybe one is like, oh, me, I want to take this opportunity. Okay. All right. So why is it actually so important to have a resume or cover letter? Because everybody dreads, including me. I need a person to look over my resume when I write it again, just to double check. Why is that? Because we find it very hard to sell ourselves, right? We find it very, very difficult to sell ourselves. So what helps a lot is actually to put yourself in the role of the person that's hiring, you know, to be like, all right, so this is my job description. And how would I filter all the resumes? What would be a good resume for me? Okay, why do we do this? Because we want to have a foot in the door to the company. The company goes and says, well, this candidate sounds amazing. I would love to meet this person in an interview. And then in the interview, they will get to know your personality. You will have opportunity to meet them and also to see how this company is for you, right? It's a both-way street, but it's only a piece of paper, right? So it has to be really, really clear and relevant to what the company is looking for. So that's why this is your marketing tool. It's like before you buy a car, before you go online and buy any product, you go to the description of the product, right? On the reviews. And that's the same with us as well. We need to sell our skills, our experience, show our attitude, and make the person curious about meeting us, right? So, and the other thing I have experienced in those 5 years is that when you prepare very well your cover letter and your resume, you're also preparing yourself really, really well for an interview. Because sometimes I ask people about their past experience, and then sometimes they struggle a little bit in explaining it, especially in English. And that's very good because you guys can then train and say like, oh yeah, I totally forgot I did this project, or all right, I can't really explain it now, so I realize I need to practice. Yeah. So cover letter resume is only a piece of paper. They never met you. So it has to be really clear and needs to be spark interest. Yeah. And make it really, really easy for the company to see. So I'm just checking. Yeah, please take the opportunity to check your resume. All right. You guys have 2 hours. If somebody goes like in half an hour, like, okay, me, still good. Okay. So let me just go to the next slide. All right. So just first of all, some general advice. So I was already touching on a bit. Because we live in a day and age where we have a total information overflow, right? I mean, left, right, and center, internet, everything is so important that your resume and your cover letter has very clear format. Not too much text. It's like you know exactly, you go to the point, making it very easy for the company to say, this person has read my job description, knows about my company, and has the right attitude, and seems like, well, they would be a good candidate. I'm really interested now to meet this person. So you really want to spark interest. Next thing, very important, but sometimes overlooked, is the language and the grammar. So if English obviously is not your first language, mine either, I always like to use the autocorrect, but I also like a second person have a look. Yeah, because when we look so many hours on our resume, we don't see anything anymore, right? So it's good to have a fresh pair of eyes. And then the next one is one of the most important ones, is relevant information. Because a lot of times I see people write everything down. They have done everything under the sun they have done. It's more like an autobiography. And that's not what a resume is. You want to highlight what's important that you have done for the company, for this role that you're applying for. Okay, so incorrect. Why am I saying correct? Because sometimes people think, oh, if I only put now that I'm only a beginner in this, they will not want to see me. But it's better to say accurate, I'm a beginner, but I'm super keen, and I have the right attitude. They can teach you. They can still teach you on the job, right? Or sometimes people think, oh, I need to put some achievement or some number, what I have done in the past to prove that I'm worth having an interview. Don't make up any details. If you are a beginner in something, put it there, be confident. Beginner is better than having no knowledge. Okay. So correct information is very important and relevant, definitely. Because you want to highlight the skills and the experiences that you have that will be beneficial for the job. And again, I'm going to say this again, don't worry so much about if you're not perfectly meeting all the requirements. But if they can sense that you have a really good attitude to learn, you may still have a chance to get a foot in the door. Clear communication, what do I mean? Sometimes I see people having like very short bullet points, so I have to imagine what they have done. And sometimes they have bullet points, they go like 3 lines. So that's not a bullet point anymore. So that's already like 2 sentences. So a resume is really about bullet points, but to be very clear, snappy, but you still understand in the bullet point what the person has done. But it is a teaser. If they want to know more, they have to come and interview you. Yeah. And very, very important is that they can feel your passion for IT, and especially you guys that are programmers. If you haven't worked yet, and you're coming out of uni, you haven't done an internship yet, but maybe you guys have done some projects, or maybe you say, oh, well, I helped one of my friends with their business website. Well, great, put it in the resume. You can highlight that because you have done this outside of your work, outside of university. And what does that show to me, if I was hiring, is that you are so passionate that you even do this in your free time, right? So I'm sure some of you might already have a website, portfolio where you showcase the things that you have done. because especially in programming, they want to see things you have done in the past. Yeah, if you have worked somewhere before and you don't have permission to show, you can explain, but you cannot showcase the work you've done, right? Because it has to do with privacy. Okay, and very important, some of you, they may have already some experience, maybe overseas, maybe in Australia. So at the end of every resume, you want to put a reference available upon request. All right, we will go through this if somebody is not saying, hey, I want you to share to check my resume here. But very important is Australians, they will not call overseas. Okay, so you may have a really good reference overseas. What you could do is, if they are also on LinkedIn and you're on LinkedIn, you can let them write a English recommendation on our LinkedIn. So at least when people have your resume and see your LinkedIn profile, they can see that this person is vouching for you. However, if you have somebody in Australia, maybe when you're doing an internship here with Chloe, or you already did one, or you want to use one of your professors because you had like a distinction and he would be a very good reference for you, you don't put the details, but you're just preparing who can I ask to be my reference? Because when you get in round 2, like when they interview you, they will ask you for reference. Okay, so right now in your application, you don't have to mention anything, right? You just say upon availability, available upon request. Okay, are there any questions around this? Oh, who said I want to? Freya wants to check her resume. Freya, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Ah, perfect. Yay. Courageous ones to the front. Okay. I'm not quite sure if you can share. I'm not sure, Chloe, I'm guessing I would need your assistance here. Either it's like you sharing your screen and we go through, or you can send it here. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do this. Chloe, do we have any suggestions?
Everyone has
Okay.
the access to share the screen. So I suggest you just share the screen here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Freya, would you feel comfortable to just share your screen here, your resume?
Yeah. First of all, can you stop sharing now, Vicky, and then let me, right? Frey's real name is Lin Chi, and she's from Taiwan, and she's one of the data science mentee of our program right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you share, Lin Chi?
Okay. Wait a minute.
No worries.
Okay.
But thanks for doing this, because it's very good, so I can ask you some questions if something is. Okay, you're showing your LinkedIn. Do you have a resume yet?
Yeah, I have, but
okay, cool.
Okay, wait a minute.
No worries. That's good. You're like showing me, hey, I also got LinkedIn. That's great. And for the others, even if it's a bit different from what you are doing, it will still help you hearing what kind of questions I'm asking, to getting more clarification. Because sometimes we think we put something on the resume, and for us it's clear because we did this experience, but a person that wasn't there with us might think, oh, I don't understand what you wrote here. What did you really do? So this will help you a lot, okay?
Actually, my updated resumes is on another computer, so I just show you the old version.
Okay.
Okay. Is it possible for you to read, or is
Yes,
it easier for you?
I
if
can read it. I can read it. I hope everybody is on their computer, because on a mobile phone would be very difficult now. But okay, so what your background is finance?
Yeah, I actually study industrial management for bachelor degree and finance for master degree. Yeah.
Okay, and now you're really interested in going into a business analyst.
Yeah, I'm currently working for the startup in America as a business analyst role now, as a freelancer. Yeah, and also
Okay. So but that's not here on this resume yet, right? This would be
yeah,
like your
that-
latest one.
yeah, that's why I
Okay.
show you my LinkedIn because it's updated. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, what I love is that you already put the key achievements. That's really good. So this is one of the things that's very important under each experience, to highlight what the key achievement was. So there's so many ones. Could be, I don't know, you got promoted, or you one of your ideas what was actually used, and it sorry, what was it, resume or first? Actually, is this very different from what you have on your LinkedIn?
Actually, it's not really different here. I just
Okay.
added here because I just worked there for a few months. Yeah.
Oh, great. Beautiful. So obviously if you add this and then add what have you been doing for them so far as like tasks?
So far, just because I just commerce at news commerce, so I just working with the user interface problem. So they want me to like, because it's a new web page, so I want to have as much as user as possible for them to test and to see if any difficult with the user interface. So I had need to document on the difficulties and then send back to the teams, yeah, the tech team. Yeah, basically that's what I'm doing right now. But actually,
Okay.
yeah, in next week, I'm going to start working there, and I will start a new job as a system analyst at a shipbuilding company.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. In since you are like already going with two projects, so what's your aim? Because you are already freelancing, but you would like to have a regular corporate job. Is that what you're after?
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely, yeah, so that would be very important to update. And I think especially when we put freelance, it's very important that you state a little bit how much time you are spending there, because it could be, I don't know, like project based. So it might be, oh, this is a project for 3 months and you're working like part-time with it, or is it like a full-time position, but it's project-based and it's just only for a short period? So that would be, for example, very important for a future potential company hiring you. Is like, okay, so this is her first time working as a business analyst, but how many hours and how long has she been doing it? Because it's very different if you say I've done full-time or I've worked like part-time on the project, just to give them, it's more to set expectations. Yeah. Okay, beautiful. Okay, can we go back to your resume? So I'm just gonna put on my lights. Okay, beautiful. How many pages do you have? It's all in one page. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. That's good. So yeah, what I would always recommend, what I see what's missing here, is your summary. So why do we have a summary? A summary is basically like an elevator pitch. It's like telling the company in 1-2 sentences who you are, and what you're looking for and what you're offering. What are the skills, the main skills you bring? Why is this so important? Because then they will go, aha, okay, this sounds like, yeah, it's worth looking for the rest of the resume. So basically what you're saying in the summary, you have to then prove in the rest of your resume, right? Because now you can actually add these 2 experiences. You just started, you already worked a couple of months in one, and now you're starting another one, which is amazing. So you would highlight that you already have some experience, okay, in the summary. So just for everybody, you don't have to squeeze everything in 1 page. It's okay to have 2, but I do not recommend to have more than 2. Why? Because if you haven't worked like 10 years in IT yet, then there shouldn't be so much information, okay? Because it's really about highlighting and giving everything that's relevant. You can give them a bit more when you feel like it will add value to the position that you're applying for, and it's important. You want to highlight some of your skills you think that will be important, yeah? Okay, so this is in the other role you're going to do, is this also with the US, or is this going to be with Australia?
The companies I'm going next is Taiwan, because I have a plan to move to Australia. So I just want to know.
Okay. So you are currently overseas, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I usually recommend with the format, this format is okay if you still use a not too small font, yeah? Why do I usually recommend a 2-pager? Is just because you keep the format simple, but because sometimes when you apply for jobs via Seek, or sometimes for the company page, they have a automatic search engine behind it, like a scanning device behind to see is this actually relevant or not. And when you guys use this format, the computer might not be able to read it. So what happens to your application? Yeah. So when you know when you have an email, like a direct email to the hiring manager, this format is fine, right? But if you're doing like applications through for some websites or through Seek, for example, right? So Seek is one of the biggest one in Australia to find jobs. Then I would recommend the other version. So let me just see. Oh, so you did a bit of a summary here. Okay, because I know that different universities have a little bit of a different kind of system of giving points. What would be a 3.8?
Because what do you mean? So 3.8.
Well, you have here finance, what's a master, right? In finance, and you put that GPA is 3.8. So 3.8 out of what number?
Out of 4.
Oh, okay. Because it is like this, that different universities have different point systems, okay?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking this. So what would be much easier would to say, so 3.8 sounds to me like high distinction or distinction. So it would be very good if you can have a look what the equivalent would be. Okay, because as I said, each university might have different GPA systems. So it's like 3.8 out of what? Another university might have, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, I don't know. So just to make clear that they know, hey, I am a really good student. Yeah, I'm a quick learner. So obviously with finance would be highlighting your analytical skills, right?
Yeah.
For the business analyst, okay? So
because
they won't, yeah. Sorry, can I just see you up a bit further up, please? Like further up to the top. Okay. So for example, I would be like a bit confused because it looks a little bit like two different names you're using for your email address and then for your resume.
Oh, because because I'm in Taiwan, so the resume, the name must be in Chinese.
Oh, no. I mean, it says Lin Chi, and then sorry, I'm not very good with pronouncing. I'm sure you guys have problems with pronouncing my name, but then I see a different last name up there.
This one?
Yes.
Because actually, this is my middle name and my
okay.
name, so
Okay.
this is my last name. Yeah.
And you have, for example, now you offer me here Freya. So if you want, you can offer your English name when you're applying for jobs here in Australia. You can actually offer you can put your full name, all right, and you put the English name that you want to offer. Or if you guys say, well, I don't have an English name, can't think of one right now, but I think that this part of my name is, I'm happy to just them call me this name. You can like highlight, like you put a underline, so they know if you have a very long name, then they know, aha, this is the name that you want to be called. Okay. So yeah, so I feel like you started writing the summary, but it's more like bullet points a bit at the moment. Yeah. So it would be like because now you can highlight that you're looking for a business analyst role. Oh, I have a question. You did a master in finance. What bachelor did you do? Okay. Again, look, like now I'm like, okay, so what score would that be for the bachelor? So if you want to highlight that in general, you're a really smart cookie and you're very good with quick learning, that would be definitely good to make it more clear, like what is that? Is that a distinction? Is this high distinction? And then you mentioned here the models. So those models in the R language, is this something that is also used for the business analyst roles?
It's just like a small project of the person who learning data science. So it's just like for me, because I'm learning finance, so I'm using coding as my tool to.
Beautiful, fantastic. I like that you have highlighted here. If you had anything else that's like anything else that would be beneficial for the business analyst, you can, when you had something that you feel is more also related, put it there. Not so sure about if you need to put the thesis score, because I don't even know what the thesis was about.
Yeah.
What was the thesis about that you wrote?
This one, this just
yes.
dissertation. Yeah.
No, I mean, look, it's like me saying I had a like, let's say I had a A in my thesis, but you don't know what my thesis was about. So would that be relevant for me as a company? No. For me, what the thing that is relevant for me right now is to see, okay, she shows she has some programming languages. Okay, this is something, if she understands this could be interesting. She will understand our systems. And also to know that you had an overall high distinction or distinction would tell me, okay, maybe she doesn't know our systems yet, but she seems to be a really quick learner. So this is like two things I'm reading, not knowing you from your resume. But I don't know what to do with the information about your score from the thesis, because I don't know what the thesis was about. So it's not, I would say it's not information that would add value. It's just some more information. So if you have a feeling like, all right, this is not clear or it's not adding value, then take it out. Yeah. Or you make it more clear if you say, oh, it was about, the thesis was about analysis. Now say, yes, put it in, because business analyst, right? Analysis. But if you're already saying, hey, I'm overall very good, if you had any subjects that are very important for business analysts, I would highlight, but just the thesis score right now is not personally for me, not adding more value. So it's just, how can I say, some more information, but it's not helping you to set yourself apart, because for me, it's like, okay, I don't know what to do with it. Okay, so you could save that space, but yeah, make it clear what is the, that this is distinction. Yeah, that means average distinction. Okay. Did you have any scholarships or anything at university?
Yeah, I have full scholarship for my master degree.
Oh, fantastic. Did you put this down further down in your resume?
No.
Okay, but this, so instead of putting the thesis score, put the scholarship.
Okay.
So that does means you not only you had like really good grades, but you must have had it all the time because they give you a scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah, because scholarships are usually based on the good grades, right? Yeah, awesome. So put that in. That's awesome. I would put that one instead of the thesis score. And in your bachelor, is there anything that would be relevant for the business analyst?
Actually, for bachelor degree, the topics, the thesis topic for me is to design an ecosystem. For the business analyst, it just involve a part like to interview the user. So for because it's a qualitative based thesis. So in my bachelor degree dissertation, I have to meet a lot of IT based role.
Okay.
Levels.
Okay, fantastic. But we don't
Yeah.
see the information here, right? And the thing is, we don't want them to second guess. This is like something you don't, it's just like a treasure. I would mention it here, what your thesis was about, so you can see, okay, it is not that is how can I say, you said it's not purely business analyst, but it is, you know, it helped you to gain certain skills and understanding and analysis and understanding programming languages. You had to use some. So that would be something that this means clarifying it here. Again, if I see a score, I'm like, okay, but I don't know in what it was, right? So, but because guys, just you know, the companies, they will not pick up the phone and go like, oh, what do you mean here? So we have to be super clear and highlight our skills, and that's why I'm asking all those questions. Yeah. All right. So what else do we have? Okay, you put your English scores here. Look, it's not so important, I would say, to put your language skills here, especially now that you're working for this American company.
Yeah.
Okay. Only if they really ask in the job description, or they say needs to be able to speak Chinese as well. If you apply for a company that maybe they have, how can I say, they work also with China and they need a business analyst who also works with the office in China, then I would mention it. If they don't ask for any language requirements, you don't need to put it. Yeah, you would rather want to show. So both of these universities, they are both overseas, right?
No.
So one is no.
The first one is in Vietnam and the second one in Taiwan. Yeah.
Okay, so you would have to put Taiwan there after the university, because, for example, I am from Germany. I lived in Spain and France. So if I don't put where did I do it, it's like a wild guess. You know, which country did she do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be about the education. All right. Can you go a bit further down? I just want to know what you put with certifications. Okay. Okay, what is the Consolation Prize soft skill presentation project? What is this about?
It's just like social projects that create in my school that everyone need to take part in. And
okay.
That.
Because a certificate for me is that you did a course and then you got an extra certificate.
Yeah.
All right. So otherwise it's a bit confusing. Okay, so either if something is confusing or you really realize in this moment it's actually not relevant, we would take it out, or we think about how is this relevant and we rewrite. So it's very, very clear. So I think this one would not be relevant if it's not like you had the first prize at university for, I don't know, your thesis or presentation or something. That could be another achievement, but this one is just a bit confusing and I don't think it adds value. For me would, for example, be interesting. So you're doing those 2 jobs right now. Is there anything that you taught yourself, like you did some self-study? Since you were like, oh, I really want to go into business analyst and I need to learn more programming languages, for example.
Yeah, I have some certification in data camp and in Coursera as well, but just list a few, just one here.
Okay, and when did you do it?
2020.
Okay, so here it basically is just the year missing, so they can say, oh, it's pretty recent still. But also to everybody else who's listening to now, what's really important is you always want to upskill yourselves, right? You know, IT is like moving super fast. There's always something new. You have to be on top of what's happening in the market. So one of the things you can always do is like when you go to Seek or LinkedIn and you're looking at roles that you're interested in, is always to look what are the requirements. And then you might see, oh, well, I have no idea about this programming language. Well, you have LinkedIn and there's a lot of, what are they called about? What are they called again? Forgot about the courses. Of course, Chloe can also tell you which courses to take, but I'm just saying you always want to look at upskilling. You can always put certifications here, but also self-study. I know there's a lot of videos out there you can do, but I think more like LinkedIn Learning or more like certification would be more recognized, but any self-study would help as well, right? So if you have that, that's great. Do you have anywhere seeing your technical skills?
Here.
Okay, you put it here. Okay. You made a mix. You made a mix of okay, so I would recommend to, instead of certifications, that you actually put technical skills, because you are in the IT role. You want to get into an IT role, right? So you can mention the course you took so that they know about that. But also when you put knowledge of R language and SQL, put it here, and put it, instead of certification, you put technical skills, and then you can also say how well do you know it, so you can rate yourself. So to guys, again, don't be alarmed if you feel like, oh, I'm a beginner, but you can show in your resume that you have, like at uni, or you used it in a job that you're doing right now. Maybe you, Freya, maybe you are using a new system in the job right now, the one that you're working with in the US. Then don't forget to put it as well. Yeah, so it's very important. Or if you do, or you have, and I think in IT it's also good if you have some experience with project management. Let's say like a Argyle project background, for example, because a lot in IT is always project based, right? So if you don't have it, that's fine. But if you have, then don't forget to put this as well. But I think it would be really nice to highlight your technical skills, and the soft skills would rather reflect in your experience, your work experience, and also in your, you can highlight your main skills in your summary. Because what happens sometimes if we say too many things, it's like, okay, what are the top skills now? You're giving me like a list of 10 or 20 skills, but what are you really good at, you know? So for example, I don't know how event management would now be important for a business analyst role. So just be really mindful what is important, you know? Okay, can we go further up to the top, please? Okay, so basically you would be adding two new roles now, which is great because they're more related, right? Let me just see. All right, so now you have to think, okay, now you have two related job experiences that would go on top of here. So now you would be like kind of cutting down on the one that are not related, right? Because if you have like let's say you have like 5 job experiences there and they're all the same length, and one is like really about business analyst, so there you really want to talk a lot about what you have learned and what's related. In the other ones, you want to highlight different skills. So some people call them soft skills or transferable skills. For example, being able to work in a team. Doesn't matter if you are the PR event coordinator or if you are a business analyst. If you know how to work in a team, how to communicate well, how to organize yourself where you have good time management skills, this is something you can transfer. It doesn't matter where you work, what kind of work you're doing, right? So here, for example, it's nice to read that you work with the council, but would that now be important to a business analyst? Maybe when you can say you worked with high-end clients, right? It's a bit different to work with PricewaterhouseCoopers and Deloitte. If you had a direct contact, that means you are used to work on a high-end level with communication. Is that correct?
Yeah, because actually the president of the BWC now is also the president of our chambers. So I work directly with C-levels only because it's like councils relate matter.
Okay, so maybe you can just have a look because it goes over 4 lines, that bullet point, just to make it a bit more snappy, meaning make it shorter. But you said you were really liaising with high-end clients or high-end stakeholders, for example. So then you don't need to say anything else, because then I can see, okay, this is the how can I say, the caliber that she was working with. So if you would apply now for a company that also has very high-end clients, they will like, okay, it wasn't in business analyst, but she knows how to talk to them. She knows how what kind of level to talk to them. Yeah. So that would be really good. You did data-driven analysis, great. Managing finance. So yeah, managing fund allocations, I don't know how much that goes into the business analyst, if that actually is relevant. If it's not, take it out, because you want to give the other things that you give, they will be like more highlighted, right? Because otherwise I'm going here, it's like I have to find out, is it relevant or not? You don't want to do that. You want to give it like straight. What does it also say about you? If you know how to highlight relevant information, it's like you understand my requirements. You know, when I hire you and I need a report from you, you will give me exactly what I need, because you understand, you listening to my requirements, and you get me only the information that I really need. And then you said here, key achievement. Beautiful. All right, that really talks about your time management skills. And if you want, I would even, if you can, talk about the quality. Talk about the quality of your work, because I can say, oh, I was on schedule, but maybe my quality wasn't so great. So you will want to, if you have good quality, you want to mention. Okay. So yeah, for your resume, really, think about changing your summary and just shortening the things that are not important for the role you're applying for, highlighting more the roles you're doing now, making it very clear the technical skills. And you will have to put, I know that you don't have references in Australia, but you will have to put references available upon request. And what was the other thing? And yes, and so you don't have to have that long skill, how can I say, all those skills. You put a nice bundle of what are your top skills that are relevant, you think are relevant for the role in your summary. Yeah. So short and sweet. This is who I am. This is what I where I want to work with, and this is what I'm offering. I have now the freelance experience. I have this and this technical skills, and I'm amazing with time management and so on. Okay. Did you get some good advice? You're happy with that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, awesome. Do we have somebody else who would like to share their resume?
Next turn is gonna be Tai Yun, right? You're mute.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will share my screen now.
Okay, sure. For anyone coming a bit late, this is a workshop that you will have an opportunity, maximum 15 minutes for Miss Vicky review and feedback your resume. So everyone in the room has the access to share screen your resume.
And
So
guys, even if
chance.
you, that's right, take the chance. Now I'm here because you could tell I'm asking questions. If I don't understand the resume, I will be very direct and say, look, if I don't understand it, chances are that the company that's reading your resume also cannot see like the highlight your skills. It's not clear, and you don't want to keep leave things to imagination and they have to guess. Yeah, awesome, beautiful. What I would recommend, you don't even have to put resume. You can just put your name as bold as resume right there. Okay. And you can highlight Tai if this is the one that you want them to call you. You're helping them to know how to call you. Otherwise, they're like, oh, should I call him Poo or should I call him Putai, or so you're just helping them a little bit when they give you a call.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so you wrote something in your this is very unusual. Okay, so again, so first you put your name, you put your email address, your telephone number. You could also let them know where you are situated, but I know that you are wanting to move to another city, so maybe it might be confusing to say Hobart, right?
Yeah.
But what I would recommend, if you have a LinkedIn account, and I think we mentioned it before we started this session, that since you worked overseas, if somebody there is also linked to your LinkedIn, you could ask them to write you a review reference in English. So when you mention your LinkedIn, they can actually go and see, aha, this is a reference. It might make a difference, yeah. So I would definitely recommend have your LinkedIn account. Obviously, make it worthwhile for the people to go on your LinkedIn account. But that would be another session, okay? There are different things. So again, the next thing would be the summary. Okay. So I can't help you right now what to do with your summary because I don't know you, right? I can help you later on to make like a snippet. Okay, current work. Okay, so we don't write paragraphs. The only sentences you write on your resume is the summary. The summary usually two sentences. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I think this belongs more. This is like kind of the summary. But for example, you're saying this is not really relevant for them, right? Do you want to apply for IT and you're mentioning the University of Tasmania, but I don't know what you're doing there. And then the sushi place. So if it's not relevant and it's too far away, we may even not want to mention it here. So you would want to start with that you're pretty current. No, okay. So you finished your studies in 2018, and then you went.
Come back to Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
I come back to Vietnam and work in the SC, in IT company.
Yes.
And after that, I come back to Australia in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you want to highlight? Your summary will not be mentioning you're working in a sushi place. The summary would be all about that you have a bachelor in IT, ICT, and that you already have 2 years of overseas work experience as a front-end developer. And then you highlight. So the DXC, do they have are they only in Vietnam, or they have also in Australia?
Yeah, they have a company in Australia too.
Okay. So so you would really want to go into what's relevant, by the way. So this part that you have here, that should come above the education, and it should say summary. And it really should be like that you have already 2 years of working experience overseas. And then you're going into including. So that's good, because you're highlighting what you have done in those 2 years. But I think it's quite a lot. So if you want to highlight, it would have to be a bit shorter, because summary is about highlighting. When you go to the experience, you can list everything you've done, right? Because this is your experience that you want to show off. And I mean, since 2020, how have you been still in touch with your IT knowledge? Have you done any? Okay, from a perspective of a hiring manager, now we're in 2020, 2022, sorry, and you left the company in 2020. So that means almost it's 2 years ago.
Yep.
Right? So I'm like, all right, so how does he still know programming? What have you done in this 2 years to keep in touch with your knowledge?
Let me see. I didn't touch any programming in last 2 years.
Okay, so it's okay you didn't study, that's fine, and you were working because you had to support, you have to pay your bills. Yeah?
Yes, correct.
But you have to think from a perspective of a company. They're like, this is 2 years ago. A lot has happened in the IT industry since then, right? So what I would recommend you now, because this might be a reason why, I know you said to me before that you applied already for jobs. Yeah. So this might be like a hindering thing, that they're like, well, he hasn't worked for 2 years in the area, and I'm not seeing, has he done any certificates? Has he done any projects in his free time to keep up with the changes in the programming languages? I mean, have you done, for example, helped a friend with their website or anything? Anything goes, okay?
Yeah,
because we need to.
Okay, yeah. I have some certificates when I study online in Australia.
Okay, but beautiful. Do you have it here in your resume?
Not yet.
Okay. No, can I just, because just to get a feeling what's on your resume, can we go just down? Can you just go to the next page? Stop. I will just see what this is about. For free business. Okay. So some final year project. Okay, so the final year project doesn't really belong to the work experience, but you could mention it under your education if you want to show. But again, we need to bridge that gap. We have a 2-year gap, because you finished studying, then you work 2 years, which is great, but now 2 years gap. nothing related to IT. So what is very important? Okay, so I think you should really have a talk with Chloe for the reason that an internship would really help you.
Okay.
Also mention really all those online certificates if you did LinkedIn or somewhere else, or you do, what are they called? I can't remember now. Something assembly, National Assembly? No, there are some academies that is purely for IT. So
Yeah, I
it's
have.
like more
Yeah,
okay.
I know that.
Can you go a bit further down, because you have 3 pages, so I'm very curious what else we have here.
Just reference.
Okay, all right, you don't show them, we want to keep them private. Yeah,
Okay.
you don't need to put information about your references, so you
Okay.
would only put references and then you say available upon request. This is very, very important, guys. Even if you have referees in Australia, you want to protect your referees, because if you send out your resume to 100 companies, some companies might just give them a call out of the blue, and you want to protect your referee because you want your referee to keep being your referee. So for example, if you have experience in Australia and they interview you and they will ask you, okay, we would like to we would like to call one of your references. In that moment, you can go back to your referee and say, hey, I applied for this and this role with this and this company. Are you available? They would like to give you a call. So what you do is you're putting your referee in the mindset of remembering how was it to work with you. And you know how it is sometimes you get a number you don't know and you don't pick up. Well, they will pick up because they know, hey, he asked me for, there will be a call. I'm expecting a call. And when they say, hey, this is company and this is for this person, you go, yep. And then they are all in, okay, what kind of reference I'm going to give. So you helping your referee to give a very good reference for you, and you're protecting them, because if they have a good experience with you, they will also be happy to do this in the future. And my experience was that my boss, my previous boss, he wasn't actually in the country. So if I had given his number, they wouldn't have never been able to reach him. So I had to ask a different person in the company. So that's very important. You want to look after your referees, because you want them to be happy to be your referees for longer, right? When you apply for several jobs. All right, so you have put also like together. Again, I personally think it's good if you stick to the technical skills and have those like soft skills I mentioned before. That could be something you add in your summary, and you just highlight maybe 3, and then the rest of your resume, they can see what you highlight there. You can just highlight those kind of skills as well. Yeah, but here, just to make it easier from the eye, would be okay. It's going to be all about your technical skills. So in your case, Tai, I would really recommend that you list a bit the courses you have done, especially if you have done those courses recently, so they can see, oh, he is maybe he's not working in the field, but he's very keen to stay on the pulse of all the changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, the volunteering, they will be like, it might help them to be like, all right, he knows English because he's working here, but he's not working in the field, right?
Okay, yeah.
So they could still be references, like a personal reference, because they worked with you, like the other things you mentioned, the university. What are you doing at the university at the moment?
I work in on the scholarship department. Yeah. I work in
Okay.
scholarship department. Yeah.
Okay. So personally, I would take out the sushi.
Okay.
Leave the Tasmania University.
Okay.
But just really highlight maybe 3 bullet points, really just highlighting the soft skills that you want to that you want them to know, like about your time management, or how you work in a team or something. So I know this is not related to IT, but it will tell them that you know how to work in English speaking environment.
Okay, yeah.
Then also it will be a reference, even if it's not the area. But you can use it to highlight other skills, transferable skills. Okay.
Okay.
But also, I don't really want your relevant experience to go down the list because
Okay.
this is the one you really want to highlight. Yeah. And what you can actually do, because your studies has been a while ago, you could even start with the work experience first. So for everybody out there that already has a lot of work experience related, you wouldn't start with the education, because your education will be a long time ago, but the related job experience is more recent. So that's the one you want to put first. Okay. For me, it would be interesting to know how well did you do at uni. So if you had a good score, like we had Freya, I think she had like distinction, high distinction. If you have, great, highlight it. If you don't worry. But if you had some distinction, high distinction subjects, you may want to mention them. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't have average, it's okay. I didn't have that. But you may just want to highlight the ones you were really good, because what does it tell them? It's just showing them where you excel in which areas in IT. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can use that. And you don't really need to put the diploma, because the bachelor is the higher one and is the more important one. Only if you feel like, oh, I learned some, because it's also longer ago. Yeah. Yeah. So is this clear with the summary? So it's really about saying you're front-end developer with 2 years overseas experience, and now you're looking for like whatever role you're applying for. And then you go into what are you offering, offering this experience from the 2 years, especially in the areas, but you have a lot there. So maybe mention only 2 or 3, right? Because they can see the whole list later, and then highlight maybe 2 programming languages, but highlight the ones that you are actually doing some work on right now. So to everybody out there, especially because sometimes I know you guys have to work and then you don't work in the field of your studies, but if you have gaps, it's sometimes hard then to sell. So either you go and you do a lot of courses, but especially if you're a programmer, it's always good to have little projects so that you can showcase. So you will have links that they can go to and see your programming style. Yeah, because this is a very competitive. So in your case, maybe you have what's it called, a project in mind, and you could how can I say, you could just work on one now, and then you can edit, so it's not too late. You're applying right now, why not? My husband is also in IT, so I hear from him all the time. He's always working on his portfolio, right? So that's very important, because they want to see, even if you're working somewhere, they want to see that you are super passionate. You're spending your free time on improving your skills. IT is like really fast paced. Everything changes, right? Okay. Is there anybody else who wanted to have a check as well? Chloe, did we have anybody else as well? Just to have an idea.
I think Thảo or Thuận, any of you want to go next? Hello, Thảo, you here? Okay, no worries. What about Louise or Toàn? Especially Toàn has, Toàn has been working with me last year, and he is currently working as a senior consultant for a tech company. But he graduated from ICT business analyst, and he got a lot of struggling in after graduation, looking for a job. So I'm interested in if he can show his updated resume right now. So Miss Vicky can feedback more for more, you know, like brighter opportunities in jobs. Toàn, are you here? Hello?
That's okay.
Okay.
Look, the ones that are
okay.
here and happy to, I think, and I didn't want to cut off Ty. I just wanted to check in if there were more. I think we went through the whole. I hope you made maybe some notes. Is there something that's, if you want to put it back on, you can. If you have any more questions around your particular resume, but it's really good that we have this example. So thank you guys for sharing your resumes. I think it can always be a bit like, ooh, I'm putting my resume here, but I'm here to help you guys. Yeah, I'm not judging. And I think it's very important, especially when you guys have gaps, to know what you can do, because this is how a company thinks. It's like, well, the person is out 2 years. So what, you know, like, and then I have somebody coming straight from another job. So I have less risk with the other person, right? So you want to take away that challenge that they experience. And if you say, like, hey, I'm doing all these courses and here's a project I just did, here's the link to my project, you can see how I code, you know, so you're taking that disadvantage of the gap away, because you show them, hey, I am super keen. Yeah.
I have a question. Like normally, the companies will require we submit resume and cover letter. You know, but cover letter is my least, my least interest. You know, when I write a cover letter. So what should I write in the cover letter, which is showing case my strengths, or why do I apply this job?
Yeah.
If you can walk us through like a typical outstanding cover letter, that would be great.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I did actually, because I was just preparing in case nobody wants to share their resume, I did a bit of a presentation. Okay, let me just go back to the slides. Okay, we already went through this, and as I said, the middle one is more the one I would recommend. Yeah, that you give your details, summary, your working history, your education, and there might be even some of you guys that never worked before and never did an internship. You guys could highlight some projects you did at university. Okay, and if you have any projects you did in the past, or you're doing right now, like you are like as a hobby, you know, that will show them really. And you can find some samples actually on Seek for the format. Let me just see, we went through this. Oh, this is the structure. Okay, so it is a letter, and I know that nobody really sends letters nowadays, but still they want to see that you know how to write a letter, or like it's a bit like a test how you can write a report, and you can see what the requirements are. So like in a letter, you have your contact details, the company's contact details, date, the subject, so they know what this is about, at the intro, and then matching the requirements. How are you matching the requirements? And then why are you applying for this company? You guys would be surprised. I was working at Navitas and we were looking for a new colleague. How many people did not change the job title in the cover letter? They just sent out cover letter and job title. And of course, that they went away. They went to the pile, no thanks. So I know it takes more time, guys, but they will see that you have actually read the job description, that you actually know about the company. Yeah. So find something, go on their website, find something that you like about the company and why you want to work there, and find something you can say, why do you want this job? What are you learning? Why you love doing this, and you have this and this learning like learning, growing opportunity, because this is the area you haven't worked in yet. Yeah. So you don't have to already know everything in that role. You just have to say, okay, why are you attracted to this? So this is also a sample you can find on Seek. This is not my very favorite, and I will tell you why. So yeah, the beginning is totally fine. You do always want to leave your details, how to contact you. What I find kind of difficult is sometimes finding out who is the hiring manager. So sometimes you end up saying, dear sir or madam, but nowadays with LinkedIn, you may be able to find out who's the hiring manager. Sometimes it actually is worth giving whoever has a telephone number there, to giving them a call and ask who is the hiring manager, because you would like to put the name there. That means you made an extra effort to find out who is this addressed to. Yeah. And then it says here insert role title. So you want to exactly use, like in the ad that you found, and then maybe it's I don't know, front-end developer in Melbourne. Yeah, maybe they have several offices, so you want to say which one. So Melbourne, or maybe they have a job number, so you want to put that there. So very clear where you're applying for. And then you're just saying, hey, I'm applying for this role. Well, you not really put the company name because it's already addressed to the company, but you want to say, where did you find it? Did you find it on LinkedIn? Did you hear about this role through a networking event? Do you even know a person in the team already? And maybe they can be like your reference, right? Like you learned about this job from this and this person already working in the team. That would be really cool. But basically you say, where did you find the job description? And then you can already mention a little bit why you think this role meets, but you can, this sentence there, talk about your key skills. You could, but I think the space is better used when you go into the lower part, where you just say, okay, I enclose my CV that will be supporting that I'm bringing the important skills for this position. So they here from Seek, they give this here with experience, skills, and performance. I personally prefer, and it worked for me, that you actually look at the job description. So sometimes job descriptions are very long, right? You have maybe 20 points. I'm just gonna have a look. So for example, it could look like this here, right? It says here what kind of programming language they want. But it doesn't say anything about other skills or other experience, or oops, I had another one here. Where is it? Here. So this one, for example, it says, what will you offer, right? What will you offer us? And then they have their requirements. So this one, for example, says they want somebody that's very analytical, problem solving, has excellent communication, is really good with relationship building, and has IT degree. So IT degree, most of you guys won't have a problem with that one. So this is, for example, for a graduate program. So you really want to go, you can't address all of them, and you may not even meet all of the requirements. So you would have a look, okay, what's the most important here? And then you could, for example, select the first three, like I did here, kind of. And so you would highlight this in the cover letter, and then you would write 1 or 2 sentences. How are you meeting this requirement? So let's say analytical and problem solving. And I know Freya is already very analytical, and she's helping to improve the web app at the moment with the company in the US. So she can already say, oh, from this and this experience where I did da 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 da, you are proving this, but you're just mentioning in 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, so you're addressing directly requirements, not all of them, but the main ones that you are that you can prove that you're meeting them. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I would recommend. The other one may be really difficult if you don't have much experience, and it's a lot about performance, and then you need to know numbers and everything. And from my experience, a lot of people, they don't analyze their performance. So this is very hard. And I feel really going into the requirements, it means it shows the company A that you read the requirements and then you gave it a thought, how are you meeting them? Yeah. Cover letter, again, should not really go more than one page. Again, who has the time? Just imagine you're the hiring manager and then you have like 100 applicants. They're going to browse for your resume and they're going to browse for your cover letter. So highlighting this nicely for them, like let's say those 3 requirements, makes it super easy. They go like, oh, this person read my job description and they addressed exactly. So now I know how they're meeting them. Perfect. Let's have a look at their resume. And then after, it's very important, it's very, very important, is to say, why would you like to work for this company? And why do you think that you're a good fit? Why this job? Right? So it means you really made a effort to understand what the company does, or maybe you read something that's very interesting, that they have a project right now that interests you. So it's very important. Why? Because as I said, a lot of people, they send almost the same cover letter and the same resume to a lot of different jobs, and they're not really meeting the requirement, like not really highlighting how they're meeting the requirements. So when you make a lot of effort, you will see that you will have more respond to your applications, because they say, aha, this person really wants to work here. They made the effort to adapt their resume and their cover letter to our role. Yeah. So just always put yourself in the position of the hiring manager. What would be important for you to know and how you want this to be presented. Yeah, just imagine you are the owner of the company you're hiring. What would be important for you? And then this is a normal one down here, that you just thank them that they're considering your application, and you hope to, you're looking forward to meet them, or if they have any questions, you're happy for them to contact you. Yeah. Any questions around cover letter, resume? Also, Freya in Thai, if you're like, oh, I don't know, I have this question, please let me know. Do you guys, are you confident with your cover letters? No, it's a hard one. I used to hate them, but then I realized, wait a minute, if I just really look at the job description and I make it about really understanding what they need. So even like there's one strategy really is to call, if they give a number in the job ad from the HR, you can actually call and ask questions about the job requirements. And then you can also say, oh, by the way, who's actually going to receive those applications? I'd really love to put the name in the cover letter. Really, I want to make it personal, you know? So yeah, so really make it about, you want to understand requirements. The same in IT, right? Somebody says, I need the website or the application to do X, Y, Z. And the same you do with your cover letter. You're telling them, I understand your requirements, and here are some example with the 3 main things that how I'm meeting them. Yeah.
There is a question sent to my chat that I am a project manager. Not sure if in ICT or what, maybe in ICT. And I would like to apply for a business analyst role. How best to present my CV, my resume?
Okay, so they're the project manager, but they don't have background in IT. Is that what it is? Yeah. I think it might be a bit hard to go, because I know that a lot of people, they study project management, but then it's not connected with something else. So what are you managing? I think so. Like, I think one of the things would be, Chloe, to come to you and actually do an experience because then they can say, I actually have some experience with the IT sector. Because I think like just in the air, project management is very hard to sell if you have never worked in IT. So I think that could be problematic. I feel like that an internship would be really good to say, hey, I actually used my project management skill now in the IT sector, so I understand the IT sector better.
Yeah, I think you what you're saying is absolutely true, because a lot of students, especially graduated ones, they are very late to find a job when they are still, at school. So they wait until, okay, they are the third year or the fourth year, or after graduated of a time being, then they started to looking for jobs. To me, it's very late for you to at that time looking for hands-on experience. You can even, the sooner you've been proactively to look for job, even unpaid internship, or even you paid fee to join any internship placement service around there, the more convenient, or the more, eye-catching profile when you real submitted a job application. So I think don't wait. Even you just have your personal projects, especially in programming, especially if for software engineers, they love coding, so they code a lot. If you finding something that you want to showcase your coding projects on, then just updating your resume or updating your GitHub profile or LinkedIn profile, keep updating. Then you will find that you currently currently showing case that you are a very self-demanding person, and you are very proactively, and by the time you update your profile, your resume, at that time you know very clear that what kind of company that you would like to work with in the future. And it's helped you to narrow down the search a lot, the job search a lot, even though you just come to seek.com.au and search a lot. You will be very drowning in the pool of jobs. Yeah. And you want to add in anything?
I just feel like
experience.
Yeah, I feel like, especially with coding, because I said my husband is also working in IT. So it's very, very important that you have a portfolio where you're showcasing your coding skills. And you could even start with something simple, and then the more you learn about different parts of an application, you add it to your project. So don't be afraid, but it's important, because what they see is that you're very self-disciplined, as Chloe said, about adapting and learning and trying out things, because it's very hard just on a piece of paper to show what you can do. So especially in coding, it's very competitive. So the more you can show that you have done already, the more likely you will get a paid job. So as I said before, I was working for Navitas. So all those students that were finishing university never had any work experience, and then they did an internship, right? Because they had nothing else to show. They didn't do any coding or much at university, and then only in the internship they had something more tangible that they could show to an employer. So they had more chances to have an interview, because they could see, oh, maybe university is not enough. Let's put it this way, right? Because if you apply for a graduate program, maybe, but there's a lot of people are applying for graduate programs, so you're competing with a lot of people. So it's really good to have this hands-on experience, or you do also a lot of projects. Yeah. Do you guys have any more questions about general questions about resume, cover letter, strategies? No? I know that's a lot of information, right? A lot of information. I don't know if somebody is brave enough to share the cover letter, but that's all up to you.
It's okay. It's okay because maybe later they have, you know, like general point of view about a typical resume and cover letter to apply for ICT Australian jobs market. Maybe they will send their resume directly to myself, and then I can help you advise, and then, you know, book one-on-one mentor section with them.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your time a lot, Ricky. Before you guys go, I just would like to have a point. Let me launch the poll so we can. You guys see the poll now? So, okay, just check. Then we can have more improvement for later on. And for anyone who haven't known about MentorMe ICT on Job training program, you can email me your resume, and then I can have a free assessment to your background in order for further advice. Okay, cool. Oops. On good? Sorry, I just mistakenly. Did you guys finish the poll? Yes? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, you guys, especially Vicky. So I hope to see you around soon, either in Sydney or either in Germany. Okay.
It was really lovely, guys, to meet you. And thank you so much, guys, for being also so brave and really taking the opportunity. It's also always about taking opportunities when you network, when you're telling people, when you do internships, really grab the opportunities and make the most. And you guys did. So good on you. Congratulations. You came and you made the most out of the session for you too. And I hope that the others could take a lot for their own application as well. So thank you. Thank you so much, Chloe, for inviting me.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Have a great one. Bye.